Hello, welcome to Fun and Affordable Magic the Gathering. I'm Joshua Jones, here with you today for an unstable edition. On today's episode, I'm going to be providing you with the Commander deck tech on Dr. Julius Jumblemorph, 2 white green for a 4/4 legendary creature. Dr. Julius Jumblemorph happens to be every creature type, even if it's not on the battlefield. Whenever a host enters the battlefield under your control, you may search your library and or graveyard for a card with Augment and combine it with that host. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. First up, we have our ramp cards. So we have Druid of the Sacred Beaker, 2 and a green for a 2/2. Tap to add green to your mana pool for each crossbreed watermarks among permanents you control. Your commander, along with Druid here, and a few other cards in this deck, have the crossbreed watermark. It's the watermark on Druid of the Sacred Beaker. We also have Hedron Archive, which allows us to tap for 2 colorless mana, but also later on in the game when we don't need to ramp out, we could pay 2, tap, sacrifice it, and draw 2 cards. We're running Felwar Stone, Mad Science Fair Project, Celestia Signet, and Sol Ring. Mad Science Fair Project is an unstable card. It's the only one I'll read here for you, but it says tap, roll a 6-sided die. On a 3 or lower, target player adds colorless to his or her mana pool. Otherwise, that player adds mana of any color he or she chooses to his or her mana pool. The other ones are pretty common mana rocks. Here we have Cultivate, Kadama's Reach, Selfie-Preservation, and Secure Tribe Elder. Selfie-Preservation is an unstable card that says search your library for a basic land card and reveal it. If there's a tree in its art, put it onto the battlefield, tapped, otherwise put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. An easy way to do this is just make sure you get a forest, because most of them have trees in the background, but you might be able to sneak in some basic lands that are plains that have a tree or something in the background if you look around for them. Moving on, we have our card draw spells. So we have Lifecrafter's Bestiary, which I think is just a straight green staple. Buzzing Wackadoodle, which is an unstable card, and I'll read it for you. It says, as Buzzing Wackadoodle enters the battlefield, you and an opponent each secretly choose Whack or Doodle. Then, those choices are revealed. If the choices match, Wackadoodle has that ability, otherwise it has Buzz. So you're actually trying to get it to have Buzz because you want to draw cards more than you want a player to lose 2 life or more than you want to gain 3 life. You could figure out how to do this, making deals with somebody or whatever opponent you choose. Or what I like to do is I like to try to choose Whack because target player will lose 2 life, and then your opponent might choose Doodle because they just figure gaining 3 life for you is better than them losing 2 life, and then they won't match, so you'll get Buzz, which is essentially this thing becomes a never-ending clue. Moving on, we have Zendikar Resurgent, Harmonize, Shamanic Revelation, probably said that wrong, and Ineffable Blessing. This is Ineffable Blessing C, which says as Ineffable Blessing enters the battlefield, choose a white bordered or silver bordered. Whenever a creature with the chosen border enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So essentially, you're just going to want to choose silver border, and then that way every time you have a Augment card enter the battlefield, you'll get a draw card. And then also, if your commander's out, you'll get a search for a host or an Augment card to put with the host, and then there you go, you get a draw card. So this is just a good way to continuously draw cards for 2 mana enchantment investment. Then we have a Mirror Shepherd, which has Landfall, and Landfall says you get a return target non-land permanent from your graveyard to your hand, and if you had a plains that triggered the landfall, return that non-land permanent to the battlefield instead. Mirror Shepherd's a card that you're going to want to protect later on in the game because it helps you from flooding out, because when you play lands, something cool happens, especially if it lands as plains, and plus we're not running too many creatures in this deck, so you're going to need to be getting them back. Sun Titan does the same thing, but it gets a card back with 3 or less to the battlefield. Smuggler's Copter is just a good way to cycle through our deck. There's a chance that we might flood out on drawing Augment cards, and if that's the case, Smuggler's Copter we could use to dump them in the graveyard early on in the game because our commander will let us get them back out of the graveyard. Soul of Harvest is some good late game draw because whenever you have a creature into the battlefield under your control, you just get a draw card. Then we have our removal. So we have Oddly Uneven and Go to Jail here. Go to Jail basically is just a pacifism, but at the beginning of that player's upkeep of the card that's of the creature that's exiled, they get a roll of dice, and if they get doubles, they get that thing back. Oddly uneven just allows you to board wipe either odd number of words cards or even number of words cards. It's a pretty cool little removal spell. Then we have Entirely Normal Armchair, Swords of Plowshare, Path to Exile, and Cross and Grip for our troublesome artifacts or enchantments. Entirely Normal Armchair allows you to put it onto the battlefield on your turn, and then you could pay 0 and return it to your hand. Only any opponent may activate this ability, and only if he or she notices that you put Entirely Normal Armchair onto the battlefield. But if you sneak it in there, you could pay 2 and sacrifice it to destroy target attacking creature. Just a fun targeted removal spell. Then we have Day of Judgment, Wrath of God, Austria Command, and Hour of Revelation for some board wipage. Here we have our utility spells. So first off we have Thalia, Heretic Gathar, and Hydrodoodle. So Hydrodoodle is going to allow you when it enters the battlefield to roll X 6-sided die, and then it gets a number of counters equal to the result. Also has Reach and Trample. Notice that it also contains the Crossbreed watermark. Thalia just has creatures in non-basic lands enter the battlefield tap, so slow your opponents down just a little bit. Here we have Swiftfoot, Authority of the Consuls, Blind Obedience, and Lightning Greaves. Swiftfoot and Lightning Greaves I would recommend putting on your Myria if you have it out, but also just good for your commander. We have Really Epic Punch, Cheater's Pet, Success, and Clever Combo to round out the utility. These are some cool silver bordered cards that just provide a little extra for when you're looking for a host or an augment card. Gives you a little combat boost and gains you some life. Permanently adds +2/+2 to a host, to a creature going to be a host or augment, and then you're going to be able to fight another creature. Teacher's Pet allows you to search out augment cards and combine them with hosts you control, kind of like our commander's ability, but just whenever we don't have our commander out. And then we have our host cards. We have Adorable Kitten, Eager Beaver. This will allow you to untap target permanent or roll a 6-sided die and you gain life equal to the result. Here we have No Made Engine, Angelic Rocket, Lab Robot, Voracious Vacuum. Voracious Vacuum, put a 1/1 counter on a creature, return a host or card from your graveyard to your hand. So Lab Robot is going to be great because we're not running a lot of creatures, and host and augment cards are suspect for removal, as you are going to be getting 2 for 1 a lot. You may destroy target non-land permanent with Angelic Rocket whenever you meet the conditions, and of course, the No Made Engine creates 1/1 gnomes for you. Here we have Wild Crocodile, which allows you to search for a basic land and put it in your hand and then shuffle your library, which is going to make sure that you hit your land drops and also get lands out of your deck. Ordinary Pony, which is going to allow you to blink a creature. Yes, that is blink. It's just return, go exile it and bring it back right away. Shaggy Camel, creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn, and then Mother Kangaroo, which is going to allow you to roll a 1-sided die and put 1/1 counters equal to the result on the Mother Kangaroo. Here we have our augment cards. So we have Robo, which is at the beginning of each end step if an artifact enters the battlefield under your control this turn. Serpentine, which says whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, so essentially landfall. Steam Powered, which just says pay 5 mana to do whatever the host creature's ability is. So Robo, it's important to note, gives you +1/+1, Serpentine +3/+3, and Steam Powered +0/+4. Here we have Monkey, a +2/+2 boost that says whenever a non-token creature you control dies. Half Squirrel Half, which is a -1/-0 boost, so a little bit different there. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield. Multi-Headed, which is a +4/+4, nice little boost at the beginning of each end step if you roll the die this turn. Here we have Rhino, which is whenever this creature blocks, +1/+4. Humming, which is flying, and whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures, +2/+3. Half Kitten Half, which is a +1/+2 boost, and whenever you are dealt damage. So those are the augment cards. Now let's take a look at the lands. We're running 40 lands in total. If you want, you can cut that down by about 4 and get in 4 different utility spells of your choosing, but 40 is just a nice solid number. We're running Water Market as our Temple of the False God replacement, and Secret Base as our Water Market or our watermark land card, if you will. Sungrass for a little filtering, and Sanctuary for some bounce lands, and the 12 plains and 12 forests. That's going to do it for Dr. Julius Jumblemorph. Some pretty cool, fun interactions with this deck. It is suspect to a lot of 2-for-1s, but hey, it's a fun commander deck, and I recommend you check it out. If you want to get it from TCG Player, it's going to cost you $50. After January 15th, when Unstable is no longer allowed in EDH, if your play group allows you to, just keep playing this deck. Otherwise, this deck's easily transferable into another budget alternative deck in the green-white color pairings. You can keep the majority of this deck the way it is and just replace out the silver border cards with some other fun and flavorful magic cards and have your choice of Celestia commanders. This deck list can be found on MTG Goldfish as usual, deck number 868075. Hey, it's unstable time. Why not try out Dr. Julius Jumblemorph with your play group in your next upcoming commander event that you guys are doing? I'm Joshua Jones with Fun and Affordable Magic the Gathering. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.